Welcome back. There are concerns of voter apathy among the youth. Experts blame this on despondency due to lack of service delivery and jobs. Let's discuss this with social and political commentator Sello Phahle. A very good afternoon to you, Sello, and thank you so much for joining us. There are independent candidates, that young people can look to in terms of voting to avoid not going to the polls at all. Is this even an option, or is just the political scene in this country so bad that the youth just feel like nobody is to trust, be it independent candidate or any of the political parties?
Thanks so much for having me, and greetings to the viewers. The youth of South Africa, they represent a very powerful force that, when used together as a single instrument, anything that attempts to challenge it will experience great difficulty, right? And the manifestation of this force will take the current establishment, which is comprised of old men predominantly and women, both in the public sector and the private sector, by shock, as it has become absolutely clear that the ills facing young people have fallen on deaf ears. So, as much as there are independent candidates, which is something is just more of a new phenomenon in South Africa, that are competent, they need to get to the ears of the young people. Because we saw in the national elections, right, that of the 17.8 million young people that were eligible to vote, less than 50% went to actually cast their ballot. And this is, when it comes to local election, the numbers are even worse in terms of voter turnout. And for me, it's very strange, because when we're dealing with local elections, you are dealing with the direct plights with which the young people you are dealing. So when you're dealing with local elections, you are dealing with the direct plights which affects people in terms of service delivery and other essential demands that municipalities, if they are run properly, they can address with the necessary speed. So they need to get to the agency of the youth force in order for them to receive any votes from young people.
I'm sure this is an obvious question, but still one that maybe can get a different perspective. Why is there voter apathy? Why, as the youth, are we so despondent? What is it, besides the fact that, we've been promised jobs that we're not getting, basic service deliveries that we're not getting, but what really is it that is causing someone who is 25 years old to just think, what's the point?
One of the main reasons why we see an alarming number of young people who do not just vote, but also they really don't meaningfully participate in society and really hold the government accountable through methods like voting, is because they feel isolated from formal politics. They have little to no trust of our leaders, and in most cases they have had terrible experiences from government institutions. You're talking about whether at municipality level, whether at NSFAS level, whether at SASSA level. The reality is that the state has grown so arrogant towards its people that instead of humbling itself in circumstances, where they really need to lend an ear to the youth or to the communities at large, the government opts to reacting with repressive measures or not responding at all until it is election time. And it is common practice that these leaders, in the day-to-day activities, they patronize young people because they exist within a system that has been designed to accommodate their style of governance, which is very sluggish, very slow, and it is filled with many red tapes, that are at the end of the day are going to realize the self-enrichment of these young people. But I'll tell you one thing that is not being said, that if this is a very strong group of a very powerful voice, that if they were to speak, they will be able really to deal and get to the ears of the young people and really get them to participate. And it's something that is very unpopular. And that is this group that they call the Yanos, Amapianos. I'll tell you, I'm not saying they must make a song or anything like that, but the Amapiano, the Maporisas and all of those guys, the way they are so influential in this country, they are able to dictate the way things should happen. And I'll give you an example. Hennessy South Africa, between this year and last year, they were struggling to understand why is it that there has been an increase on one of their Hennessy alcoholic beverages. And they later on realized it's because of one song that is produced, under the genre of Mapiano. But the reason why they will not come out and really speak, and I'm not saying tell young people that they must vote for a particular party, but I'm just saying to show them about the purpose of voting. It's because we are dealing with a different young people in this century we are living in. And this young people has no obligation to the collective, has no sense of interest for the progress of his people, and is individualistic and egotistic about their personal pursuit.
Sello, thank you so much. We'll leave it there with you for now. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Midday View on eNCA. That is social and political commentator from SIP Media, Sello Phahle.